If you're planning a trip to Barcelona and you love wine, here's the mistake I see people making all the time. They spend their time at the famous sites, eating in Las Ramblas and maybe visiting one restaurant wine bar, and then they think they've experienced Barcelona. But Barcelona has one of the most exciting wine scenes in Europe right now. It's a city where traditional vermouth bars exist right next door to cutting edge natural wine spots. And welcome back. I'm Hillary Zio, certified sommelier, restaurant owner, and two-time wine book author. I've worked in wine for 20 years. I've been to 50 countries. So this channel is all about travel for wine lovers. In Barcelona, 1 hour you can be drinking old vine garnacha from a tiny producer in Catalonia, and the next you're sipping champagne from a legendary grower. After spending time eating and drinking my way through the city for about 2 weeks, these are the bars and restaurants that I personally recommend to wine lovers. And not just places with good wine, but places that capture what makes Barcelona special. So before we jump into the list, here's one quick tip. Barcelona is a city of neighborhoods. Don't spend your whole trip bouncing across town, checking off attractions and reservations. Pick a neighborhood each day, wander, get lost, have a glass of wine, and just let the city happen to you. That's really going to be where the magic is. Let's start with the area of Poble Sec. This is going to be one of my favorite neighborhoods in all of Barcelona. It feels local, relaxed, and far less touristy than some of the city's more famous areas. My favorite stop here is Denassus. It's exactly the kind of place I love discovering when I'm traveling. You grab a table on the sidewalk, order a few glasses of wine, and then you settle in for the evening. Barcelona isn't a city where you rush through dinner and move on to the next thing. People linger, conversations stretch for hours, and meals become an entire evening. Denassus captures that feeling perfectly. And then just a few blocks away, if you're looking for something completely different, head to Pachuco. I know what you're thinking. Why would I go to a Mexican place when I'm in Spain? Why am I recommending tacos to you? Because after several days of tapas and jamon, sometimes you're going to want a break. And Pachuco has fantastic tacos, a local crowd, and one of the best margaritas I've ever had. It's one of those places where you immediately realize locals actually eat here too. The energy feels authentic rather than curated for visitors. And that's always a good sign when you're traveling and you see a long line of clear locals. But if wine is your primary reason for visiting Barcelona, there are two places I think are absolutely essential. The first is Vinya del Senyor. This place is an institution among wine lovers. The wine list is massive, endlessly fascinating, and you can explore wines from all over Spain, but also Champagne, Burgundy, and just about every serious wine region you can think of. What I love is it's equally enjoyable whether you're studying for wine exams or just simply curious. Order something you've never heard of and ask questions. Barcelona is one of the best cities in Europe for discovering Spanish wine beyond Rioja and Albarino. The second must visit is Mon Vinic. Part wine shop, part high end wine bar. It feels like a temple really just dedicated to wine. One of the most memorable features is the meat and cheese cellar that surrounds the dining space. The quality here is exceptional from top to bottom. So if you're looking for a more elevated wine experience, this is where I would book a table. Barcelona has plenty of casual wine bars, but Montbenic reminds me that the city can also compete against Paris, London, and New York. The wine program is serious without ever feeling too intimidating. It's really a destination for wine lovers in every sense of the word. Next, you want to explore Eixample. So you've probably spent some time in Eixample because many of Barcelona's most famous attractions are here. This is where you'll find gaudy masterpieces, including Sagrada Familia. And after sightseeing, my favorite stop is Bar Mutt. Think wine bar meets raw bar. Order seafood, order wine, take your time. It's the perfect place to recharge before another round of walking through the city. The atmosphere feels sophisticated without feeling any formal, and it's exactly the kind of place I find myself returning to. And nearby, you'll find Cellarer. This spot feels relaxed, approachable, and refreshingly focused on Spanish wines. Barcelona can sometimes feel very international, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but Cellarer is a wonderful reminder of the depth of Spain's own wine culture. So if you're trying to better understand Spanish wine, this is a really great place to start. The selection encourages exploration without overwhelming you. It's comfortable, welcoming, and deeply rooted in local traditions. Those are qualities I always appreciate when I'm traveling. Another excellent option is Bar Thonet. Their roasted chicken croquetas are fantastic and a little less common than the pork versions you'll see everywhere else that's more traditional. It's also one of my favorite places for solo dining. Just sitting at the bar feels completely natural here. I travel alone fairly often, and not every city makes it that easy. Barcelona can sometimes feel intimidating for solo diners, but Bar Thonet removes that feeling immediately. It's just friendly, ideal for a casual evening, too. Now, Barcelona has become one of Europe's natural wine capitals. Whether you love natural wine or you're simply curious about it, this city is one of the best places to explore the category. My favorite discovery was Contracorrent. It's outside the main tourist zones and has that neighborhood feel that I'm always seeking out. The hospitality is excellent, the food, excellent, and it just genuinely feels connected to the local community. So places like this always remind me why I travel, right? They're not chasing trends or trying to impress visitors. They're just simply doing what they do really well. For something more traditional and low key, visit L'Anima del Vi. This place feels deeply European in the best possible way. There's no pretension, no performance, just people enjoying wine. These are often the experiences I remember most when I'm traveling. Another favorite is Pet Nat, which is stylish and energetic. I think it's best visited with a group because of the seating arrangement in there. But if you're traveling with a bunch of friends, it's definitely worth seeking out. Then there's Bar Salvage. This place immediately reminded me of Brooklyn. It's just a young crowd, so much natural wine, really simple food, and just a creative energy. So if you're wondering what younger wine drinkers in Barcelona are excited about, spend an evening in here. And then don't miss Biblioteca. What makes this spot so unique is the Asian Catalan fusion menu paired with a largely natural wine selection. It's exactly the kind of combination that wouldn't have existed 20 years ago. Today, it feels perfectly at home in Barcelona. One of Barcelona's most beautiful neighborhoods is El Born. It's walkable, historic, and packed with excellent places to eat and drink and shop. One newer favorite is Orve. The menu is creative and modern, and the wine program feels really thoughtful rather than trendy. It's a great example of where Barcelona's dining scene is headed. The city continues to evolve while still honoring its traditions. And that's a difficult balance to achieve, but Orve does it really well. Another classic stop is Zampane. If someone tells you there's a wait, you should stay. It's definitely worth it because this is old school Barcelona at its finest. You've got traditional tapas and pinchos on the bar, really experienced staff that create like an atmosphere impossible to fake. Honestly, the energy here is incredible from the moment you walk in. If you're looking for a place that feels timeless, this is going to be it. Some restaurants become institutions really for a good reason. Now, when you need a break, the one thing I always tell travelers is to not force themselves to eat the same cuisine every day. Barcelona is an international city, so take advantage of that diversity while you're here. And if you need a break from tapas, head to Mehman Khana. This is Indian food, which is outstanding, totally authentic, and sometimes the best meal of a trip isn't the one you were really expecting to have. That's certainly been true for me many times because travel should always leave room for surprises. Now, if you're someone who likes learning while you travel, check out Amovino. It's part wine bar, part educational space. They offer classes, tastings, and events all throughout the year. Experiences like this give you context for everything else you drink during your trip. So once you understand the grapes, regions, traditions, every glass is going to become more and more meaningful. Now, here are some cocktails worth your time. So, even as a wine person, I think Barcelona has some exceptional cocktail bars. My favorite was probably Mariposa Negra. The drinks are so creative, but without feeling gimmicky. Many are served in these handmade pottery vessels that make the whole experience feel artistic and memorable. It's the perfect late night stop after a long day of wine tasting. And Barcelona's cocktail scene deserves more attention than it gets. The creativity here rivals many larger cities, so don't be afraid to branch out for an evening. Finally, if you want authentic local food, make a reservation at El Chigre. The tapas are impressive, the atmosphere feels genuinely Catalan, and the hospitality is really warm. It serves as a reminder that Barcelona isn't just a wine destination, it's one of Europe's greatest food cities. The thing I love most about Barcelona isn't any single wine bar or restaurant, it's the diversity. You can spend one afternoon drinking traditional Catalan sparkling wine, have natural wine with locals that evening, eat an incredible seafood dinner, and finish the night with world class cocktail. A few cities that I can think of offer that much variety packed into such a walkable and beautiful place. So if you're planning a trip to Barcelona, save this video for later and let me know in the comments which wine city I should cover next. And if you enjoy wine travel, subscribe here. After more than 20 years in the industry and visits around the world, I'm sharing all of the exact wineries, bars, restaurants, and experiences I'd recommend to fellow wine lovers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.